You know, I love trading. I really, really do love it. I'm not sure what it is about it, but it just makes me feel alive. It just feels like it was something I was put on this earth to do. I just love trading. It's what I am. It's who I am. It's what I'm about. But there are things that I simply cannot stand about trading. There's just things I hate. Even though I love it, there's just things I hate. And one of the things that I really, really can't stand about trading is the dirty, evil scoundrel of a heathen called the fat finger. Just writing this makes me want to vomit. I promise I won't vomit all over the whiteboard. That would be gross. Anyway, if you're new and you don't understand what a fat finger is, basically a fat finger can be defined as anything that you make a mistake on yourself. Not trading-wise, say administration-wise, on the keyboard. I guess it gets its name because you're typing something and one of your big old fat fingers accidentally hits a key and you end up doing something that you did not intend to do. So a common example of a fat finger, which we've all done at least once, is you go to buy yourself some Apple. AAPL is the ticker symbol, but instead you enter AAAL or something like that. You mistyped in the ticker and you wanted to buy one stock, but you luckily bought something else that you most likely have no idea what it is, nor do you know what price it is. Another fat finger, where it gets a little bit worse for me, is when you want to buy a stock, but instead you ended up shorting it, or vice versa. You wanted to short a stock, but you hit the wrong button and you ended up buying it, or you ended up shorting it. So you got this really great idea. You really want to buy this stock on this beautiful breakout. It breaks out and you smack the key and then it starts shooting up and you're like, yeah, but you look up and your P&L's in the red. You're like, what? That's because you shorted it. And then you have to cover your short because that's not the side of the trade you wanted to be on because it was a breakout and you were bullish on that stock. So what do? You got to cover your short. Then you watch it just roll up and you missed your entry. You took a great idea. You threw it in the trash. Same thing vice versa. You short a stock and I bought the damn thing. Sometimes it just comes on order entry. You want just a nice little smooth 100 shares. That's all you want. Just a nice little clean starter position. Just a little smooth 100. But somehow you entered another zero and you ended up with 1,000 or maybe even 10,000. You're like, damn, I'm overloaded now. I didn't want that much. I like the idea, but I don't like it that much. Sometimes it's like just you want a limit order, but you hit market and you get some really poor spread fill that basically just ruins your trade. And the worst, I think, is when you're losing on a trade, you realize it's not going to work out, you've spent that internal moment with yourself and you say, I got to cut my losses. I've got to cut my losses. You don't want to, but you got to. You got to cut your losses. So you dig deep in the gut and you cut your losses, but you added to the losing position by mistake. You went to sell it. Oh, no, I added to the loser. Oh, gosh. And the reason I hate these is because you never freely get away from this. It always comes back around here and there. But the reason I hate them so bad is for the simple reason trading is hard enough as it is. Without us having to get in our own way of being successful. Without us having to sabotage ourselves by screwing up an order. And really, nothing is more frustrating to have a top quality idea, be excited about your research and how you found this stock, and really believe in this thing, and then you ruined it by screwing up the order, by fat fingering it, by making a mistake and going in different directions. Now, we've all done that. It's more of a problem that you find when you're new and you're having some trouble or things happen quickly and sometimes when you're trading and you overlooked some of the small details. Now, one way that you can help correct this, and it's something that you're going to have to do when you start out or when you're struggling with this, most of the brokers have some sort of verification screen that once you enter an order, before you hit the button, you have like one little thing that says kind of like, are you sure? Are you positive you want to make this trade? Kind of like that, but not so obvious. But just a little order bar to kind of tell you, you sure? just so you can take a look at it. Now, a lot of traders get rid of that because that 1.5 second delay they feel is going to cause them, and some people are really efficient. But if you're struggling with this, and this happens to you more often than not, then it pays to just take a brief second and look it over. And it might make a little bit of a difference to your entry, but that is far better to get a slippage of a couple of pennies here and there on a trade than you actually grenading out something really bad here, because sometimes these can be devastating. And you know, as well as I know, that for some reason this is magical. I wish there was a scanner out there that was like the fat finger people scanner, because what I mean is these never work, do they? They never, like you never make them, you never make a mistake and it works, does it? No. Like you never fat finger like 10,000 shares and like, oh, the damn thing worked out, woo! No, it's always a bad trade. I don't know why. It's always a bad trade. So you got to fix these fat fingers. Now, I don't know if this was so much of a lesson as a little rant, but fat fingers, they're bad. And remember, why are they so bad? Because they make you the worst enemy. They take away great ideas. They take away great money-making opportunities because of just a slight millisecond of an error. Just one little errant finger. And when you get my age, sometimes you're typing in your hand, you just start having like these mini seizures, and they start hitting buttons by accident. Things happen, I'm just saying. Fix the fat fingers. Fix them. And anyway, thanks for listening to my rant. It's always nice to just yodel. It's always nice to yodel. Take care.